What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be unboxing the Bad Batch Season 1 Wrecker. Now, this is actually one of my favorite characters in the TV show because he's one of the most funnest, pretty amusing to watch on the show. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and look at the box of this figure. We're going to go ahead and look at the accessories, articulation. We're going to look at the accuracy of this figure between realistic and animated. So let's go ahead and look at the box first. You guys can see that he's number 5 in the Bad Batch wave. Does have that side panel imaging right here that all the Black Series figures have now. It is an open window box. As you guys can see, he does have a few accessories, which is backpack if you want to consider that an accessory, as well as a helmet, a sword or a knife. And then we do have a blaster right here. Let's go ahead and unbox the Bad Batch Wrecker and have a closer look at what he looks like. So here we have a quick tray shot of Wrecker. So here we have Wrecker's helmet. Now this is actually a really good helmet in my opinion. I do like that it is different than the other ones. As you guys can see that it is painted white and it does have a few scratches or wear and tear on the helmet, which is pretty good in my opinion. And they do have their logo right there on the top. Pretty decent in the inside, and we're gonna go ahead and put this on later, but we're gonna go look at the rest of the accessories that this figure comes with. So each one of them do come with their own version of a backpack. They're all different and very unique to each figure. This one has some nice painting here in the front, if you guys can see that. You guys can see that the strips down here are painted blue and red, which is a nice detail to have, as well as some paint here on the side, and it does have the little peg right here. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the accessories. So here we have this dagger or sword or machete type weapon that he has right here. Pretty decent, basic, nothing crazy about it as far as weathering. A nice piece to have. He is shown to have this in the show. So this is his blaster, pretty plain, really basic, nothing really crazy about this right here. And I think that's where you reload it. I'm not really too sure. It's not identical on both sides. So let's go ahead and grab Wrecker right here so you guys can start looking at the figure. So looking at this figure, man, this is actually a pretty big and hefty figure. I'll probably show him compared to another Bad Batch member. So let's go ahead and look at the articulation of the figure first. So when it comes to articulation, he does have single jointed knees, which I guess is not too bad for this figure because he is pretty big. You're not going to be posing him all that much. And when it comes to the ankle is pretty decent. It want to go forward and back pretty slow. No toe articulation. It does have, okay, so it has a little ankle swivel, which not all of them have that. And it does have thigh swivel as well. So when it comes to articulation, this is already slightly better. Now when it comes to abs right here, when it comes to abs, it goes slightly forward and it's pretty decent on the back. Now when it comes to the elbows right here, it is single jointed elbows on both sides, and also the wrist is on a hinge and it is pretty stiff. It doesn't want to move too much, so I don't want to try because I don't want to break it. Now this arm does not go 360 because he does have these shoulder pads here, and it does look like it's pretty flimsy, honestly. I feel like it's easily breakable, honestly, if you play around with it too much. But these figures, you know, I really plan on just keeping them displayed. Now, this armor piece does feel like it's a separate piece because it does move a lot around right here on the torso. So let's go ahead and look at the head sculpt. So looking at the head sculpt, it doesn't seem like it transitioned all that great from animated to realistic like the other figures did. But you guys can see that it is Wrecker because he does have that messed up eye, that scarring on his face. But I mean, it's really not too bad. He does have that little smirk, which adds some detail to the figure as well. He could decently look left, right, up, and down. You guys can see that. It looks pretty good in my opinion as well. So let's go ahead and get the rest of the accessories put on him so you guys have an idea what that looks like. So here we have the figure with all the accessories put on. You guys can see that he does have his helmet, his sword, and his blaster all put on there. Now the sword doesn't like to stay on all too well because it does wiggle just a little bit. Blaster seems fine. It does have a holster for the sword right here on his right leg, which is pretty good in my opinion. And then also the backpack is pretty firm, pretty steady. Now, I do feel like his neck does seem a little short because the helmet itself is pushed in quite a bit and it does look kind of weird. So it is kind of restricted just slightly in my opinion. but overall it's really not too bad. I think this figure, when it comes to articulation, I'll definitely give this a 7 out of 10. When it comes to accessories, I think I still give this figure a 7 out of 10. Comes to artwork on the box, 7 out of 10. And when it comes to the accuracy between animated and realistic, I'll definitely give it a 6.5. And when it comes to the overall rating of this figure, I'll definitely give this figure a solid 7.5 out of 10. Although it's not the best rating as far as other figures that I've had in the past, the blaster is pretty good. So is the sword. The helmet, I like the detail in the helmet. Armor good. Figure is pretty hefty. Weighs a good amount. The articulation could be better, but it's not too bad. But I have to give it a decent rating only because the articulation is somewhat bad, and I don't like that this hand doesn't really hold the weapon all that great. But overall, not a bad figure. You guys let me know down in a comment section below. Will you guys be picking up Wrecker from season 1 or season 2? And I have a link down below where you guys can purchase season 1 and season 2 of Wrecker. They're all going to be the same, just slightly different paint job. But anyways, comment down below what do you guys think of this figure, and I'll see you guys in the next one.